Hi there, my name is Chris Farah. Welcome to Vanity Fair and my YouTube, where I will be talking about 90 Day The Single Life. This is season 5, it's episode 2, The Act of Tinseling. What does that mean? Who knows? Who knows? The act of tinseling happens at Christmas because you have a tree and you want to do it Victorian style. That's what that means to me. Now, I realize that's from a Christian centric point of view, but that is what that means to me. Now, I can only assume tinseling, meaning making even more beautiful something that is great. Uh, for this episode, perhaps the red bikini on Sophie, the act of tinseling. We'll get into it. However, thank you so much for listening. Hi, how are you? We are either listening on the podcast. And if you are, please give me 5 stars and like a very fun review. I don't know, say something dumb, say something silly, say something great or poignant. Honey, an emoji. That's fine with me. I'll take it. And if you're on YouTube, please make sure you're subscribing, following, liking, and commenting. Of course, I'm on all the social medias at Chris Farah on the TikTok and the Instagram, Substack, and Patreon, Chris Farah, and also Chris Farah on Facebook and Vanity Farah, the private group. All of it. Okay, so let's get in. Okay, we will start with Gino. Now, annoyingly enough, because we're supposed to really believe everything, we're supposed to believe that Natalie, the very good looking, like New Jersey esque Italian lady that Gino met in Vegas, well, met online and then went to Vegas and then brought her to Michigan where Jasmine attacked her. That woman, we're supposed to believe, not an actress, A, B, is coming back for more. Gino, that woman with the trench coat. I mean, listen, Natalie walks in, honey, and she knows she wants to be on camera. So she's gonna like walk in with this gorgeous, like camel trench coat, maybe like a Gucci bag, like we're told she's working in Washington remotely for a job, which is confusing to us because we're like, wait, if she's working remotely, then wouldn't she be in Vegas for a job that is actually in Washington? It's just confusing in Washington, D.C. So someone has to explain to me how life works or working works because I truly am confused. And then, of course, he's going to visit her and they meet up at like a coffee shop. Now, Gino comes in. We've been knowing Gino. Gino is so proud of the following things. A, Italian, even though he does not appreciate quality food, which is so wild because it is the trope of enjoying Italian cooking or really enjoying any like ethnic cuisine is like the dignity you would give fresh ingredients and quality recipes, and the man will get 2 for 1 Prego. Okay, so that is what is happening here. He's so proud of his frugalness. And here's the thing, I really am leaning into this year my financial literacy. So it's not that I want to go full Gino, but I have talked a lot of shit about how cheap he is on my podcast, and I also have to say that, like, I haven't been the greatest with money. So in the middle lies the perfect person. However, Natalie isn't it, because Natalie's trench coat and like Natalie's purse, if she was to tell Gino how much those things are, or if Gino thought he was going to buy her a piece of clothing that she would enjoy, and then she was to tell him like the average price of the piece of clothing she enjoys, it would blow his mind. It would boggle his mind. Like he would lose his shit. Like it's hard sometimes if you operate in a different financial world of how you spend money than someone else. Then it will be resentful when you look at that person and they're like, okay, spending $500 getting their hair done. You're going to be like, what? I usually go to Supercuts and I get $25. Like, if you are the kind of person that doesn't understand how other people can spend money, it will be awkward. And the problem with me is that when Natalie talks, I can see a person with intelligence. So, and And she doesn't seem like she needs anything. I guess other than fame. She doesn't need a green card. God bless. She has a job. She gets to work remote on site, which is, God, I don't know what that job is. Why is Natalie here? If you got physically attacked by someone's ex, and that someone was Gino, who was offering you nothing, nothing, what rational, sane person would come back for more? I just, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard as a like it's hard across the board to understand. I think that it triggers me as a woman, because I'm like, no, like it makes me like upset. I'm like, you just have no friends. I can't imagine Natalie has a sound, wise woman friend that she said any of this to. Like, let's just say this person's not on the show. And Natalie's like, hey, Cynthia. Oh my God, girl, you wouldn't believe it. So remember when I went to Michigan and met up with that guy, Gino? Yeah, like the bald guy who like is so cheap. Well, first, that's my thing. So I'm into it. And anyway, so I go to Michigan and then, he told me he like had an ex, but it's his family's party. So I'm like, whatever. I go, the ex is there. She's crazy and she hits me. And then Cynthia'd be like, "Girl, what the fuck? What are you talking? Like, are you going to sue her? Are you going to press charges?" And Natalie's like, "No, no, 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 girl, no, no, no. But I will tell you this, no, not at all. I am gonna go back and hang out with Gino though. I invited him to come hang out with me. Yeah, girl, yeah. So I just came back from the meeting. We came from a coffee shop. I looked super cute. I was wearing that camel trench coat. You know the one from COS. Ha ha ha. And then he came in, honey, with a backpack. It was so hot. I love them. You're just like, what, Natalie? What are you talking about? They leave from this coffee shop where they talk about who knows, and they're flirting, and that makes no sense. He's smiling at her like he thinks he's gonna get a piece, and she's smiling at him like she would entertain this. And I'm like, I don't understand. He's wearing a backpack. It's not even JanSport, but it's like, where's he going? What math class is he on the way to? What the? He's old. Okay, help. How First of all, I'm just going to be very honest. A lot of people on the streets of 99 Fiance is like, no more Gina, we're good. No more Jasmine, we're fine. We have to like just file them away, honey. Put their book back on a shelf. Just put it away like where the Angela and the Michael is. Like we've seen all of it. We're done. It's too much. They're going to keep giving, but we no longer are buying. Can you just like move on and find other people? And they do find other people. They always do. There's so many jaggernauts. There's so many. I'm sorry. It is a jaggernaut. There's so many offshoots. So, anyways, they're going to, hang out again. Fine. If I have to have this storyline, then I want him to take her to the fanciest fucking place in Washington. And it's like Washington, D.C. has a lot of fancy restaurants, like, federal looking places, real classical looking places, steakhouses. I'm not quite sure. And then I want the bill to come. I want the bill to be like $700, which by the way, like a two-person thing, and they had, like cocktails and a bottle of wine and an app, meal and dessert. Like I can see it happening, and so could you. It's expensive, obviously expensive place. I want the bill to come and I want to see him pay for it. I either want to see him ask her to go 50-50, or I want to see him ask her to pay for it. Or I want to see him try and ask her out and then like have her go to, a Red Lobster or an Olive Garden. And then still like he's going to be like, is there senior discount before 5? That's going to happen. It's not just the money. It's just the lifestyle. It's the clothes. Like the minute she sees him, she's like, he's not for me. It's the fact, obviously, she got accosted from him. None of it's believable. It's just, it doesn't make sense. How desperate is Natalie? Like, she has to assume that we would look at her and be like, this bitch has no other fucking options. And she's a cute girl with a job, long ass hair, good body, pretty face, seasoned, cool, on TV. I know she's like, I'm not saying, listen, it's hard to date. But if it's Gino or bust, then it's bust. Right? I don't understand even from that point of view, because that's the part I think that like triggers me as a woman because I'm like, okay, so Natalie, you're just like either wink, wink, I want to be on TV and want to be famous and I'm being paid for this, or B, I am the most desperate, sad, lonely, I'm going to die alone woman that I will put up with a Gino who has not protected me physically from someone he lied to me that wouldn't be around, his ex-wife. Like, it's just too much. Okay, help. Ah, move on. I get like mad. You know what I'm saying? I wish I wouldn't. I wish I would just calm my nervous system and just like keep all my reactions for me. I wish I could just like be chill about it. I wish I could just like wink, wink and allow or whatever, but I obviously can't. And it's annoying. And it's like, please just don't make life stupid for me to have to watch. Please just allow me to watch this stupid ass show without being like, no. And if you can't have a storyline for Gino, that's a reason why you should fucking shelf him then you don't have something for him. Then his family hates him and they won't, record with him. Then no woman will actually be with him. Then his whole life is masturbating, eating shitty marinara on top of dry spaghetti and trying to find new women online, sugar babies online. Then that's what his life is. It's not watchable. Okay. Oh my God. I'm moving on. Let's move on to someone fun. I'm super excited to talk about Colty and Courtney. You're like, girl, bipolar. It's like, but no, I actually am. Colty and Courtney I'm excited about. It's hard to say their names, but it's exciting because they are bringing levity. Also, there are a couple on the show that we know started off obviously both American couples with both foreign people from different seasons. Then obviously they get together on the show. We watch 90 Day Hunt for Love. That all happens. It's weird that they get together the way that it happens, which is that a Colty breaks his leg and then Courtney kind of just like takes herself out of the entire experiment because she doesn't want to deal with Soldier Boy. And so she's kind of, and definitely not Tiffany. And so she's like, I'm just going to hang out at the hospital. And then she forges a relationship with Colty. And then, because he has nothing and his mom left the country. Debbie. So Colty, it's more like that. I forget there's two Debbies. Colty, it's that. He ends up moving in with Courtney and Courtney's parents in Florida. And we get to see Courtney's parents. They're so super cute. They're like golf buddies. When you see two people, just like two married people that like have been married for a long time and built a whole family, that they're just like little symbiotic twins. You're like, oh my God, just day in, day out. They look alike, they sound alike, they're just golfing and having fun and making jokes and just like, slightly laughing at them and then just living in Florida, beating the heat with crushed ice. If I lived in Florida, my bill, my my air conditioning bill would be up. My God. Courtney's dad wants it to be at 76. That's too hot. 76? 76 degrees? No. Like, I think that universally, I thought that universally, people assume, I think the thermostat's at 72. That's too hot for me. I want it to be at 70, right? In Florida, 76 feels like you are basically just like putting hot air on you. Just put it. So and I get that the bill is high. I don't know what fans do. They have those swamp coolers? Are they just? I don't know. I'll tell you another thing. I would absolutely get a pellet like Sonic style ice maker. I would be crunching all day on them soft ices, honey. I would not be able to stop. It'd be soft ice and like electrolyte drinks all day long. And once I got past a certain age and everything was fine, alcohol probably. I mean, I don't know, something like that probably. I don't know. I don't drink now, but maybe, I don't know, I would just gummies. Who knows what happens when you're hot in Florida and older. Courtney lives there, obviously, and she brought Colty, which is wild. And she also was just like, I like living with my parents. It's better than any roommates. I'll tell you right now, I like that retirement lifestyle. And I'm like, yeah, Courtney, I get that too. Courtney has always been to me like refreshingly honest. She seems to have like no airs about her. She kind of just says things. Like she just said, like that's the beauty of like why I think she works on a reality show. Courtney dryly says the absolute truth. And she's kind of like, so I like it. Okay, so basically, her parents are like, "Girl, when we were your age, we had like a whole ass home and kids." And Courtney's like, "Hmm, must have been nice for you." Yeah, here's the thing. Anyone, Courtney's generation, my generation, all of our parents had better lives than us at this moment in time. At the time in which we are alive now, our parents were killing it. Most of them. That's almost generational trauma. I don't know what to say. It's just like, well, something happened. Good for you. Oh, wait, you fell in love? Oh, you already had kids, you already had a house. It was all working out for you, just like making money on money investment accounts. Cool. All of that, just like found your soulmate. Now you guys are just growing old together, look just like, sound alike, do whatever you want to do. You're just like peas in a pod. Cool. Great for you guys. Must be nice. I'll tell you what I'm doing. Bumble or whatever, that's whatever, or she's, God bless, nursing Colty. I mean, she's nursing him in a way that almost feels a little too much. Like, he broke that ass leg, but she's, like, shaving him. I don't quite understand why she's shaving him, the top half of him, his hands work. He there there is an appeal to Colty, and I am trying to isolate what it is. I'm going to say that it has to happen. I'm assuming it has to happen with the following things: sense of humor, a certain, like, attention to detail, or, like, a certain kind of cerebralness that when he points out things about a woman, they feel seen. Maybe they like his eyes or his tone of voice. Maybe he comes on sexually strong and feels also at the same time non-threatening. Those are, I mean, no one's told me, but, are those the things? Courtney surely feels bonded by with him, and in a way that she is like, nursing him, allowing him to live at the parents' house, paying for everything. Like, and this is a Courtney that we have unabashedly seen. And I mean, it goes back to Hunt for Love, which is not that long ago, who's like, I want to be taken care of. I want a man to pay the bills. I want to be taken care of. I don't want to have a job. I want to be, in that traditional gender rolled life. She wants the soft life, or this is what she's told us in the way I told you. She just unabashedly, dryly says the truth. She has said that's what she wanted. And then we have watched her turn around and do the absolute opposite, which is like, begs the question why, which is why I tried to give us reasons, which why fall in love with Colty? Why? Now, to me, if you were watching Hunt for Love, surely there is no, I mean, if Colty and if it was just Colty and Usman, Courtney, I don't know. God bless you. You made the choice you made. But it's not, right? Like, there's other people in this world. There's even other people in the 90-Day franchise, just like, please. But here we are. So basically, at this point, they're going to go golf with her parents. Now, we assume that when she's like, "Do you want to go golf with my parents?" He's like, "Yeah, that sounds fun." Get some like fresh air time. And she like bathes him, shaves him, all the stuff. We're like, "Oh my God, no." They start talking about they golf. They're watching them golf. They're like in the golf cart. They talk about the fact that her parents bone more than they do. They don't have sex. They've not had penetrative sex. Now we assume that he goes down on her. They get real into the nitty-gritty, like, he can't keep it up. He can't get it hard enough to penetrate. He's like, "It's because of the drugs, and it's because I'm in pain," the whole situation. But Courtney, in confessional is like, "I watched him on the show that we're both on." I'm not gonna be like Sophie being like, "Oh my God, I met this guy. Wild that he happens to be on 90 Day Fiance. Didn't know it." Just like, come on. Courtney's like, "No, I watched this whole season, every girl." And so one thing I know about him is that he stays horny. He's like, a bunny. He likes to put it in. And that's true. We have seen that. It's another interesting thing that we've seen, like, very much about him, is that Colty seems to have a type. Colty has a type. It's Larissa, it's Vanessa, it's the other girl from Brazil. He has a type, and it's Latina. he likes some, yeah, he likes Latina, Brazilian women, but Vanessa, I'm not quite sure if she was Brazilian, but he likes a fiery personality, perhaps like darker features, perhaps like, I don't know if it translates to body silhouette, but like he seems to equate that kind of like passionate Latin culture with like how he wants the energy and vibe of his women/sexual partners. And he's going to elaborate, don't you worry. So basically, then he talks to his friend. So this is what happens after that conversation, honey, in the golf cart, watching the cutest couple golf. And Courtney's dad's real good, making them hole in ones. I'm just like so happy for them. I just like the idea of like, yeah, growing old with someone and doing fun activities and then being turned on that they're good at it and then going home and just like absolutely like having so much sex. Also having a home to do it in. Also having so much like financial freedom and retirement funds that were like, yeah, the kids we made 40 years ago can come back and hang out with us. We have enough to spare. How good for them. Anyway, so then Courtney decides to go have like some chill, fun girl time with her friends, Sandy, Lexi, and Marie at a pool. And she also like goes full on into the pool, like with her pool cover up on. Courtney, yeah, Courtney, yeah. I was like, girl, take that off. Why are you taking that off? Come on. Courtney's hot. Courtney, I feel like doesn't think she's hot as she has some insecurity issues, and I get it. But I mean, I think that I would love her to like lean into someone thinking that someone. I would love her to lean into someone making her feel hot, and Colty isn't for lots of reasons. A, because he won't fuck her. She's feeling awkward by that. She doesn't feel like hot and turned on by that. She feels like he's not attracted to her. And Courtney is so beautiful. And Courtney, though, however, is like blonde, like blonde, the biggest blue eyes you ever saw. Obviously, like took them blue eyes right from her mom. Wildly big, round. She's so pretty. I wonder though if she has just like different looking features than the one that, Colt used to. Anyway, so then Colty talks to Mark, his friend, who's like some dude on FaceTime. Colty has literally no one to go to. I'm like, how come you can't live with Mark then and like recoup with Mark? How come Mark isn't shaving you? And that's when he's like, Mark, it's hard. I'll tell you right now, like sex, it's like it's whatever. It's hard to like forget, Mark. You know what? It's hard to forget the memories of being with a fiery Brazilian who will just lob on my knob like it's the last dick she'll ever see. Like it's the only thing that will dispense mother's milk. Like you're just like, what? It's like he is graphic. You're like, Chris, so are you. And I'm like, I know. Mark hears this and he's like, yeah, man, I know. And Colty's like, yeah, with Courtney, she's just like, hmm, hmm. It's funny because for as much as Colty and Courtney say about their sex life, he doesn't fuck her, he won't put it in. He eats her out. She does whatever. She like touches it or whatever. I don't know if Courtney puts it in her mouth that much. And I also am assuming by this conversation that if she does, she's not excited by the act of fellatio. She's not excited by the act of fellatio with Colty. Now, lots of things can come up. First of all, she's nursing him. She's washing him. She's like she's caretaking him. It's not hot to give someone a sponge bath and then try and like worship the D. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not hot. Not hot. And it's like so early on in the relationships and it's like, it's only been a month in. She's like, I feel like I know you. It's like I know you so well, but it's like we don't really know each other. And it's like, yeah, girl, you just watched his episodes on television. And the other part of it is like maybe Courtney's just like, that's enough. I'm good. There. Put it in. Like a lot of girls are. Now, spoiler alert, they're not together. So, the seeds are sown. This was a bad choice on all their parts, unless the producers were like, listen, he broke his leg. Courtney, I don't know if you like Usman, but that's what's coming for you. So if you want to be on the next season of Single Life, just do something right now. Just make a choice, and then we'll bring you on. Like, and that could have happened, and it would have been smart. Now, Chris Farah, the podcast 90-day insider, will tell you that when I went to the Hunt for Love 90-day party, Colty, Courtney were there, the other cast of Hunt for Love, which now seems like yesteryear, but Elise, who we now know is going to be on Single Life. I'm sorry, Elise, who's going to be on before the 90 days. And that episode is going to happen next week. I'm so excited. Okay. She was on there. All those people were at the party. Colty and Courtney did not interact at the party. So that was already after they shot. That's when they're going to air Hunt for Love. We're assuming that that's maybe even after Single Life. They did not hang out at the party. They didn't really talk that much. Now, you could be like, maybe producers were like, don't you guys let on that you're in a relationship? Who knows? But it felt like they were already had been over that and then like had moved on. Okay, so then fucking Colty is like, another thing. I've always been cheating, you know that. I've been cheating. I like them women. And I went to Hunt for Love, but I had met another woman online, Brazil. He's like a Gino. They like to go online and meet people. Like, could you like disgusting? But I can see a world in which 90 Day Fiance makes like 90 Day Fiance passport bros, and it's fucking Gino. It's Colty, you know, it could be Rick, it could be Luke, and it's just like these gross ass guys that go overseas looking for women, because that's basically what's happening. Now, they're not going to make that show because it'd be, you know, really problematic. But think about it, because they would, because that's what's happening. Okay. So basically Colty's like, yeah, before I went for Hunt for Love, I met this other girl, Diana. Diana online. I haven't met her yet, and I'm still talking to her. So this asshole is talking to Diana while he's living in Courtney's parents' home, and they're paying for everything, including the AC that he thinks should be, you know, put down. And she's sponge bathing and shaving him and giving him lackluster blowjobs that he thinks should be better. And that's the world we live in. That's the world we live in. How did we get here? How the hell? How do we right the ship? Do we have a meeting? Okay. It's not just women. How do we as a society make relationships and dating better so that across the board people are satisfied? Like, people feel loved and happy and fulfilled, because the Genos aren't, right? Like, they're going to end up alone. And Colty for sure will. Like, no one from these situations, except for the women that move on and learn how to like spot good men or good relationships, good partners, change the things about themselves that want to like cater to and help shitty, weak men. Like, how do we right the ships in our souls and our hearts and as a society for the betterment of all? Because I and Courtney want to be Courtney's parents, you know, but the Colties stand in our way. Anyway, please tell me. I really want to know. Okay, so let's move on. Let's move on to Kimberly. So obviously this is hot in the heels on the fact that Kimberly has laid bare her soul and a lot of her past, which includes the fact that she was in the army and in a dysfunctional relationship with Jamal, and also highly insecure, and therefore not able to either set the boundaries or get herself out of relationships, and or kept having unprotected sex and just kept getting knocked up. That's what kept happening. So, and she kept giving up for adoption. So she did it twice, right? So that's what we know now. Larry was the first, then Jamal happened, and then she gave Larry up for adoption. She kept Jamal. She has a very close relationship with Jamal. We know this. She tells Jamal about Larry only after Larry had reached out and found her online. But she had told Jamal about his sister. And she had told Jamal about his sister at 13. And Kimberly's like, yeah, I just told him about one. And that felt like so much of a shame for me that I had done that, that the thought of saying I had done it twice was almost like it was too much. It was absolutely too much. That's why Kimberly is like going through it to have to admit it. She is like, I can't. She's like, every time she says it, she's like, this was hard for me. I'm having, if you think it wasn't hard for me, it was hard for me to do this whole time. And I think that she knows that she's going to get a lot of flack for her parenting style. But the truth of the matter is, I don't know what to say. There's no right answers. She could have been like, yeah, I had a relationship with Jamal's dad, and I had 2 unwanted pregnancies, and I terminated them. And, people in this country be like, no, fuck you, or you're a horrible person, and you're gonna do this, and how dare you kill those babies, and whatever they bless, right? People, and then she put babies up for adoption. She didn't abort them. She put them up for adoption. And there are people that are going to be like, how dare you do that? How dare you keep doing it? How dare you? Why would you do that to them? Like, why? What's wrong with you? Why did you make those mistakes? Why did you have unprotected sex? As if people don't have, as if people don't. It's very easy to judge people about the way they live. And it's very easy to judge people on reality shows. It's very easy to judge people about things that they vulnerably share about themselves. It's very easy to judge people about their sexuality and the way that they move. It's very easy to judge women. It's very easy to judge parents and parenting styles, and it's very easy to judge mothers. And I'm not saying that some don't deserve it, and I'm not saying I haven't. Just that it's easy. Only 2. I all don't know what it's like to be in the army, to be in the military. I don't know what it's like to be in a sharpshooter. I don't know what it's like to, like, have to be trained like that or to be in a military situation. I don't know what it's like to have that on my nervous system, but also have, like, somehow someone that I'm sexually into in a romantic relationship with also doing this experiment with me. I mean, doing this experience with me. But that person is going through and has their own demons. I mean, this is like a life I cannot imagine. She seems to have a lot of guard up about this part of her life, but when she talks about it, it's like, I wish I knew more about what it was like back then. When she shows pictures of herself, it's fascinating. Yeah, arguably there shouldn't be, probably, but there's not reality shows about young people in the military, like what that is. And it's like, it's American Defense Forces, so I'm not technically saying that a reality show is like important for that, and yet I'm just saying, because I enjoy the insular view on something that I wouldn't have normally because I'm on the outside. And then again, I've talked about, probably that's why I like the TLC shows that have to do with family structures like Mormonism, or The Travelers, all that stuff. Anything that, like, Amish, when you can just be like, what's that life like? I wouldn't know. Same thing with military people. The training involved. I watched, Special Forces because, again, I just brought up Sister Wives kind of because, of course, Cody on it. And it is very interesting. That's just so different from, like, my theater kid, improv comedy, theater artist, commercial actor life, like, I'm so undisciplined times. And I wish I was just like, it just seems like a different world, a different galaxy. Okay. So basically, yeah, she feels badly. Jamal doesn't trust her. Jamal doesn't. So basically, Larry's coming, and she has to tell Larry, babe, like, it's not just you and Jamal. There's also the other one. And Jamal's like, I don't even trust the way you're going to tell Larry. And Jamal feels now protective of Larry, his older brother. So we'll see about that. Okay, my loves, let's move on to Sophie. And this is Sophie, Pedro, Liz, and Julia, though there's no really Liz in this situation, although she's talked about. Oh, one thing I want to say about before I move on is that Kimberly has obviously a fascination for chenille. Chenille, is that how you say that? Her whole couch, all of her pillows, all of her blankets is that like soft fabric that people like love in pillows and blankets and in sweaters. She really like went in on it. She loves, I mean, then you're like, how much though cat hairs on that couch? Okay. Um as I said, Sophie. So basically, Pedro, as we know, doesn't know what she wants. He hates that she hooked up with Pedro. Sorry, hates that she hooked up with Rob recently. Even though they're like not really like they're not divorced yet. And Pedro thought that Sophie had moved on completely, but no. Uh, Pedro obviously hasn't watched the show either with Sophie because like every time that Sophie's on, she's been like back and forth with Rob. They obviously, like they are of the generation of like Snapchat and texting. All it takes is one what you do and WYD to get shit back on. Okay, so basically Pedro then goes up to Villain and Liz and is like, is Sophie talking about me? In such a way that's like, oh, that's so insecure. And he is insecure about it. He's not being like, hey guys, what's up? How are you guys doing? Are you enjoying life here? They're like, hey guys, did Sophie talk about me? Which, feels a little hungry. And Liz is like, well, no, just like, no, that she is enjoying her time here. And this is so fun. Just like, yeah, she's just, still healing from her past. That's what she says to Pedro. But Pedro takes it to another level. Um, he feels like he's coming on strong, and is she ready for a relationship? We cut to Sophie. Sophie's in her room with Julia and she's like, hey girl, let's pick a soups cute outfit. It's like my day going to the beach / date with Pedro. Should I wear this yellow tight bodycon super hot dress? And I was like, put it on, girls, and look so good. And Julia's like, yeah, it's beachy. And then she's like, or should I wear this red number? Julia looks at the red number. She's like, well, he's gonna be staring at your boobs the whole time. And Julia's like, great. Okay, red number. Julia, I'm sorry, is right. Sophie puts on the red number and it's like just like a bikini, like a oh, I forgot what it's called. Triangle square bikini? It's kind of like fruit, I call it like fruit netting bikini. I don't know. Anyway, she looks hot. Sophie is so, ideal. Ideal for consumption, like that it is exciting to specifically be in the vantage point of like the camera behind her and watch men react to the vision of her, which is what we get. Like we get exactly what I said. She walks in with her like just, really hot body. And we get Pedro's reaction, which is like, you are stunning. You look beautiful. And she's like, thanks. And she's like, do you like my hair curly or straight? And he's like, both. He's like, you're so hot. And she really has him wrapped around her finger and she knows it. And here's where it gets like interesting. She sits down, they go to like this beautiful, like fruity, kind of like fruit forward breakfast lunch thing. Lunch, there's so much like fruit. Oh my God, I die for it. Give me watermelon, give me like pineapple, give me like ripe ass pineapple, like almost brown, not really, just golden, just golden pineapple. Pedro, for some reason, thought they were exclusive, which Sophie was like, nope, not ever. Now, even in Pedro's talk to us previously, we assumed that they weren't exclusive. We assumed, and by we I mean me, that they had hung out a couple of times at some clubs or whatever. That he was like, hey, the cameras are going to follow me. We're both on the show. My sister loves being on the show. So, and it's cheap to like film here. So we'll throw a party for our sister. Why don't you like come hang out and we'll date? Or like, we'll see what's happening. That's what it seems like. And Sophie was like, cool, I'll look hot, you know me, and bring some friends. Now Pedro's like, we're exclusive. And that just doesn't feel like it's true. It just doesn't feel like they're actually exclusive. Like, he's not calling her my girlfriend. Like, he didn't introduce her as my girlfriend. If he thought she was exclusive, he would have been saying my girlfriend the whole time. They would have been booed up. They're not booed up. He definitely feels like he thinks he's in the courtship state of this. And he's doing a good job. He's actually doing all the things that, would be lovely. Someone like treating you like a queen, putting so much effort, like making you feel like you're irresistible, like craveable, how hot you are. And Sophie's like, Sophie, for all intents and purposes, does have probably other suitors, and she makes it known that she is allowing her time to be spent considering all her options. And it's funny, it's like from a game playing point of view, like from like the 90s, like the rules, like that kind of like, this is what you do to like hook men. Like that's what you're supposed to be doing. Like, and that kind of like, yeah, never always be dating multiple people. Oh, never let a man, like until he's whatever, your chosen one, like vet him and like make him think you have other people and blah, blah, blah. It's so interesting. It's like, yeah, I guess that's supposed to be the thing. Now, I don't know if either one of these people think the other one is like for them forever. Pedro seems to be like, I want to have kids with her, which I love that for him because he's going to be taught a lesson, which is, I don't know why you think that. What part of her has like kept you thinking that she's gonna be great mom material? Boy, do you have like, a certain type. It's just that, yeah, I I love I love this for everyone. And I feel like I need to be taught a lesson too. I like to think that I don't fuck around with anyone until I like them, until I know I like them. And then I'm like, oh, good, good. I really like anyone, but I do like you. So let's just fucking fuck playing games and just like enjoy this. But I think that other people live in this like other world where you have to like be like, I don't know, okay, or whatever. You have to just be like really blasé about it. Or guarded or in a place of not wanting to be in a relationship but still trying. It's like I'm either wanting to be in a relationship or not. And the minute I decide that I want to, then I kind of just go through my life and I rarely meet people I like. But then if I actually want to be in a relationship and actually meet someone I like, then I'm like, that's interesting. And if that person likes me again, then I'm like, okay, cool. Can we just do this then? I think it's annoying to have to like move on from that. But I guess there's all the other parts of it. People don't want to be in a relationship, yet they're meeting people. People think they want to be in a relationship, yet they don't. Or people are just biding their time and wanting suitors, which I guess, is that. It does seem like Sophie wants attention over a relationship. And why I bring that up is this next point. So then Pedro says something Banana Ramos crazy, which is like he says that Liz said that Sophie thinks that he's like maybe coming on too strong with the stuff in the van. That's not what Liz said. And then Sophie is like immediately mad at Liz. She's like, well, I don't even really know Liz. And now Liz is saying, like, talking shit about me. It's like, no, Liz didn't. All Liz said is that you are still healing from your relationship with Rob, which is what you said that you already told Pedro. In fact, now you're gonna like put 10 toes down that you've been saying to Pedro this whole time. You're not exclusive. You're still healing from your relationship with Rob, and that's why you're here, which is verbatim what Liz said. So why are you upset at Liz? Why did Pedro say like weird things? It's like he's tried to say that's what Liz made him feel like, but that's not what Liz said. It does seem like Sophie wants male attention, Pedro attention. But why I say male attention is that I don't necessarily know if it needs to be Pedro's. I wonder if there's something into wanting male attention over a relationship. And if you want male attention over a relationship, then surely you don't get like emotionally attached just to one fucking man because you're like, fuck you. If you're not giving me attention, then I'll just find the person that is. And maybe that's what turned men like Pedro on, because they feel like then their ability to have access to this person is fickle, because she doesn't want a relationship with you. She just wants attention from any man. And if you're not giving it, then she'll move on. It's so like the thought process is so interesting. And specifically, I guess I'm talking about this because I don't feel like a Sophie. I'm not like super hot. I'm not super hot. I think that I'm beautiful, truly. I think everyone has beauty in their own way. But Sophie's version of like beauty and hotness is truly like, a crystal clear version of like ideal hotness for men. Male view hotness for sure. Totally. And I get that. And so I guess when we're talking about like what men want, I have to assume that I don't know and that Sophie does in some ways, so what certain men want. And it's like very interesting to consider the psychology behind it. How you think of things, how you maneuver, how you present, and how you want connection and love to come into your heart and life. Because yeah, because I do think that there's like something maybe that is like too pure about my version of it. Or maybe pure is a bad word. Anyway, I'm gonna lean into it. So we'll see what happens. But Petro's taking a back seat, honey. Like now he's not gonna even be texting her, which maybe is like good. Maybe he will play a little game. Like maybe that's what it is. Maybe now Pedro has to act uninterested, not text her. And then she'll be like, oh my God, where is he? I need him to see this new hot pink outfit. You know what I'm saying? And then maybe they'll get together. I have no idea. Babes, who knows? Um, yeah, I'm excited for this season. I'm excited to like, follow it and be able to deep dive about the single life. I want more for Courtney. I don't want to see Courtney get fucked over. It's making me really, really sad. I know Vanya's coming. Um, I'm excited. It's interesting because it's like I know Elise is coming on before the 90 days. It would have been interesting to see Elise on here though on Single Life. Anyways, my loves. No men from Hunt for Life made it over to Single Life. No Cole, no Carlo. Interesting. All right, coming up, are you watching Love is Blind? That'll be coming up. Of course, I keep talking with the fact that I'm in mid-move, which has thrown my life into a frenzy, also made my scheduling and my um literally my shooting place difficult, but all of it's coming. So do know that. Traders, Love is Blind, I'm on it. However, a little behind. At the same time, 90 Day Fiance, before the 90 days, it's happening. So following it all, appreciating your patience, truly, wanting your comments, specifically your follows, likes, your engagement on social media, your reviews on my podcast. Give me 5 stars. I need it. I want it. I'm so sorry to ask for it. But truly, it's the free thing you can give me. So if you want to give me money, though, God bless you. You can join my Patreon, go there, or give me a super chat on YouTube if you want. Other than that, again, at Chris L. Farah on TikTok, on Instagram, Chris Farah YouTube, Chris Farah Patreon, Chris Farah Substack, Chris Farah, like my page on Facebook and the Vanity Fair group on Facebook. We're going to do a breath and I'm going to have you out. That's the plan. Thank you so much for listening. I love you so much. All right, 2 breaths. Why? First breath, rehearsal breath. Second breath, another chance at it. Goal, present moment, using my voice because that's what you're hearing right now in this very instance. And also breath. Those are the 2 things I know to try and get my mind in gear, under my control, in present time, not thinking about the past or cringing about things I did or fucking shit I didn't say or like worrying, planning, hyper planning the future. And I'm saying that as someone who's moving, my mind is all over the place and brain fog and everything. So what I'm doing now is what I need for myself. Putting my feet on the floor, trying to feel my body in space, taking a deep breath in, listening to the sounds around me and being like, bitch, get here, get now. Did I do it? I don't know. I kind of thought of other things a little bit. So guess what? I'll give myself another chance, knowing that I'll label the things I thought of as being labeling thoughts and being like, you always have a chance to bring yourself back. Nothing's perfect. It's all a process. One more time. All right. I think I did it. I did it. I don't know. I did it. All right, my loves, take care of yourselves and one another. Stand up for what you believe and make art, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.